local talent in the DFW area. I have a writer with me tonight that his father was part of the Tejano music scene. Go ahead, tell us a little bit about your dad and how he helped influence Tejano music here in DFW.
Hello, my name is Richard Garcia. My dad is named Richard Garcia Sr. My dad had been in the Tejano industry, started in being a musician at the age of 15 years old. Cowboy was his first trade. It was on a farm that we lived out of Ferris, Texas. And all his brothers had this band called Los Mejores. And it was my dad, his brother, which is my godfather, which has now passed away, which his name was Victor, and his other brother, which is named Roy Garcia, and his other little brother, which is named Pete Garcia. And my dad was a guitar player, Victor was a bass player, Roy was the accordion player and the singer and keyboard player, and Pete was a drummer.
What year did they get started?
It was probably in the late 60s when they started their band, when my dad was about 15, 16 years old. And there's pictures, we have pictures of them when they're in their band. But they started that band when they were young. My godfather Victor and Roy, they were a few years older than my dad.
Where did his love of music come from?
From my grandparents. My grandmother, she had a lot of family members that used to sing, like around campfires and stuff like that. And my dad and all his brothers were self-taught, so it was one of those deals that my grandfather was mad that my grandmother's family knew instruments, and so that's when my grandfather started buying, instruments for his sons, and said, "Hey, I need you to learn this. I need you to learn how to play the guitar and play the bass and play the drums, because I'm not gonna let your grandmother's family be better than us."
Right. Okay.
So that they started, when they were young like that, and doing all their chores, as being a cowboy and riding horses and farming and doing what they do.
So how far did they get with the band? I mean, were they performing at nightclubs, music venues?
They performed at multiple nightclubs. They performed Fiesta in San Antonio. They've opened for big bands. They've featured in a couple of people's bands. One of their good friends is Gary Guajardo, which he played with a big band called Latin Breed, which is a really big band, one of the biggest bands in the Tejano industry. One of the icons in Tejano is Latin Breed. Then you got David Ligarza, Emilio Navaira, Gary Hobbs, David Mares. You got all these. I mean, there's bands. I mean, I could keep naming bands because there's bands and bands and bands galore. But the good thing, my dad used to say is like, everybody can sit here and have genres of music, but we as Tejanos, because I'm a fifth generation Tejano, so we've been Texan when Texas was Texas,
Yeah.
And my dad always used to tell me, he's like, we have our own genre of music, and that's something that nobody can take from us. It's called Tejano music.
Right. So, can anybody find these recordings that they did?
You can find some of their songs. Man, it's really hard to even find them even on YouTube. My dad has a couple of videos that he played with this one band called Trencia de Wilmer. That's from Wilmer Hutchins. We were talking about that earlier, but a couple of music videos where he's on stage and they're playing some music, and I think that was at the Latino Culture Museum at that time. But yeah, you can find some stuff, but you can't really find a lot of his old stuff. It's like we wanted to give my dad an interview with the Tejano Hall of Fame, so that he can be a part of that whole
Sure.
pioneer part.
So when you're talking about this Latin museum, are you talking about the one that's off of Good Latimer near?
Yes.
Okay, near Deep Ellum. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, does he still pick up the guitar every now and then?
He has at least 35 guitars.
Oh my
and
God,
basses.
he's got the sickness. Same
And
here,
he
man.
picks it up every day. He plays behind. He'll play a song and he'll just play with them while they're playing the song.
Cool.
And he has his own music too that he writes and he plays.
Does he sing as well?
He sings as well, yes.
Okay. All right. What's his go-to guitar that he likes to play on?
His go-to guitars right now are the Les Paul, the Gibsons, or the Fender Strat, Music Mans, and the Fender Telecasters.
Okay, all right. So does he perform anymore?
He says he wants to, but he doesn't think that there's bands out there that are at his caliber. Because my Tejano music is a mix between country and jazz. So if you hear jazz music is very elaborate music when it comes to playing an instrument because of the chords you play.
Right.
You play like really big chords. You can sit here and say, like when Dr. Dre's interview, there's only 9 chords. Yeah, there's only 9 chords, but those 9 chords can be in different octaves at any moment of the time.
Yeah.
Like you can go from a C7 to a C14 to a G chord, a diminished or whatever, to minors. There is only 9 chords. Dr. Dre is one of the greatest producers in the rap industry, or just in any music, period, right? That I think, in my era of music. But when I hear my dad play and I hear him play these chords, I hear him play this music and this jazz, it does something to you,
Yeah.
That's why I love jazz music so much now, because of what he played and how he plays, and when I hear him and my uncle play, it's just totally different. He turned a Selena song into and this was a Selena cumbia song, and Selena played a lot of cumbia songs, but they turned this song into like a dance Tejano song.
Yeah.
And when I heard it, I was like, that's a Selena song? He's like, yeah, we just made it like this though. And I was like, that's pretty damn good.
So some listeners might not know what cumbia is. Will you explain it to them?
Cumbias are a style. It's a different genre of Tejano music, or it's a Latin. Cumbia is like a Latin dance. They do the cumbia, and there's music that they have, and they call them cumbias, and it's a style of music. And my dad hates to play cumbia, so every time he hears a cumbia song, he's like, I can make that song into a really good Tejano song.
So you would say your dad is not top 40.
Right? Yeah,
he's more into the deep stuff.
Yeah, he gets really elaborate, really deep into it.
So it sounds like you play as well. Do you?
I don't play. I'm more of the digital audio stuff, sound engineer. I do all the sound for them and record them. Do the producing part of it.
Yeah. Do you record for other artists around town?
I record for some like local people that want it for like some pop artists. Like I write songs. I produce music beats for some rappers.
Do you want to put an Instagram out there or a YouTube channel?
Right now I don't, because I just really do it for fun.
Yeah.
Just do it just for the just as a hobby.
Right. All right. Well, listen, thank you very much for giving us a little history lesson in Tejano local. Hearing Voices, where we highlight local music talent in DFW. Today I have a writer who is still in high school, and he performs locally in Bishop Arts sometimes. So go ahead, tell me about it.
About Bishop Arts, I originally started playing there when my jazz director at my high school he made me meet up with a tenor saxophonist, Shelly Carroll.
Ooh, man, I love Shelly Carroll.
Shelley
I've been
Carroll.
listening to him for years. I mean, back in my 30s, and I'm now in my 50s. I think the first time I heard him, he was performing at the old Torelli's off of Greenville Avenue, and they had a harpist, Shelly Carroll, a drummer, and a DJ doing turntables. And it was great stuff, man. Sorry, go ahead.
You're okay. Like he's the legend, man. Like,
Yep.
He's changed my life like a whole lot. Like give me a different perspective of how to play. And I remember having a lesson with him around like early 2023, I would say. And he invited me down to Revelers Hall in Bishop Arts on because every Wednesday night he plays there with his quartet. It's just straight ahead or bebop jazz.
Every Wednesday night?
Yeah, every Wednesday night.
Okay.
Like 8 p.m. to 11. That's when he always plays. And he invited me down. We were working on a tune and he wanted me to come down and showcase it for him and his band and anyone else that was there on that day. And that's what got me started playing around. I usually started playing around in the Revelers Hall a lot more than anywhere else, but he's got me to meet a lot of amazing musicians and made me a better musician because of that. Not only just getting opportunities to play in front of people, but to play with and in front of other musicians.
So are you playing with guys from UNT?
Yeah, they always come. Mainly UNT people that come in. Sometimes other colleges, but mainly UNT that comes down to Revelers.
So, like we said before, you're still in high school, and you're doing these performances out at night. What do your parents think about it?
Originally, they were, well, sometimes they are still annoyed when they have to drive me out. Usually now, they might just call an Uber, right now, to take me to Revelers or wherever I need to go to do a gig.
Sure.
But originally, they always just drove me to wherever I needed to go just to make sure that I'll be okay. But they didn't mind me getting out there and just hanging out with people that I know are gigs that I have to do in faraway places.
So tell me again, what got you started in music?
Originally, I was originally in middle school, I signed up for the band class.
Because you wanted to get out of art.
Yeah, I wanted to get out of art class. I couldn't draw. And I remember the band director coming into the art class and taking everyone out of there just to advertise the band and showcase the band hall and all that.
Right.
And I mean, it's not I was super interested in it, but I mean, it looked kind of cool. It looked like something that would be a fun alternative to art class. So I signed up for it. And originally I was gonna play flute. I tried out for flute first, but I didn't make a sound on it because he had me do a test with a flute joint and a clarinet mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And I could get a sound out of the clarinet and not the flute. So he just put me on flute. Or not flute, clarinet.
Yeah.
And from there, it was just me being in that class. I didn't really think much about it until 8th grade, where I was put in the top band, and we did chairs, we did chair tests, so it was a lot of competition, and I got better. I started trying to practice and getting better, to get the first chair, which I eventually did around the second semester of 8th grade year.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot better, so my teacher recommended me to attend or audition for Booker T. Washington, the arts magnet, and I got in, which changed my life.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it changed my life. The first 2 weeks, there was a bunch of performances they were doing, specifically the premiere ensemble performance of our jam, showcasing like jazz ensembles and like some modern like contemporary ensembles.
You want to give out a shout out to your music teachers?
Yes, especially the jazz director, Mr. Hoppy. He's a great teacher. Like no teacher can ever replace him. Like he can come off as mean, but you know he just cares about you. Like he really has that deep passion for music, and like he brings that on to other musicians that are willing to give music a try, which I think is really nice. And it's not common to see in a lot of music teachers now, that I think.
So, who are you listening to? Who gives you inspiration?
Right now, John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, like a lot of bebop, Dexter Gordon, those kinds of guys.
And one contemporary guy, right?
Yeah, Kenny Garrett.
Okay, all right. So, out of all the three instruments that you play, flute, alto sax, and clarinet, which is your favorite right now?
Clarinet by far.
Okay. Is there any other instrument you would like to learn how to play?
Upright bass.
Ah, very cool. I tell you what, the form factor of that is a little hard to deal with when you're traveling around. Let's see, what else can I ask you? So ultimately, you want to be a performer?
Yeah.
Okay, and in what area? Contemporary music, jazz, all of the above?
All of the above, but I want to mainly try and give jazz a shot, if anything.
Yeah.
But like I do plan to do like gigs of any kind of music, just to be flexible.
Yeah.
More gig opportunities.
So a life on the road for you is what you're angling for.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't ever give up. Do you have any YouTube or TikTok or Instagram sites that people can tune into?
Yeah, I have an Instagram. I'm planning to post a lot more there, just to like showcase like my progress on getting better and just hoping to live a life as a jazz musician.
Would you like to give your name and the Instagram site?
Yeah, my name's Ian, E-Y-A-N, not I-A-N. And the Instagram is at EYAN_IK.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
Good luck.